I've been waiting for this.
I needed this. It's therapy.
Well then.
Welcome.
We already did this bit. We gotta do different one.
It's still funny.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
I'll just stop then.
Oh, I forgot we did that bit.
Come on now. All right. Should we just get into it then?
Let's get it.
Matthew?
Get it.
Alrighty. So today we were just gonna talk about the. Frick, I forgot the word.
This is serious.
Manifestation.
This is a serious episode.
Manifestate. You guys manifested that word into my brain.
There you go.
Tough. About manifestations and whether we believe that they're real, and some like, do you guys think that if you manifest something, like say something into the world, that it actually is more likely to happen?
I believe it does. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it, like if you're always saying this, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. You'll make it come true because you'll take the steps to become better and get to that point where you want to be. Like some things, it's like, oh, I want $1 million, whatever. Like, okay, yeah, you can say that, but how are you gonna get there? Like, okay, I want $1 million, but all right, I'm gonna work this many hours this week. All right, I'm gonna drive myself. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that, and it's little stuff that manifests to the bigger thing that you want.
Yeah. It's kind of like the butterfly effect.
Very different than the butterfly effect, but
It's in the same realm.
Here's the butterfly
It's
effect.
in the same realm.
Here's manifesting things. There's just like this little.
Well, no. What I'm
Connection.
connecting it to is like I've heard like all the whatever, like a butterfly's flap of the wings can affect something on the other side of the universe, right? Where the one that it does affects, the edge of reality as we know it, right? It's writing that reality for us. Whereas same thing with our voice. One, of our vocal cords or whatever affects the edge of the
There goes
galaxy.
the Great Wall of China there.
Exactly, like it affects the edge of reality. So whatever we put out in the
Here's the
world
Statue of Liberty.
comes back to us,
Right.
So
No,
I think it's real.
And I was actually talking to this guy the other day. I get to talk to a lot of people about a lot of weird things. But I was talking to this guy, and it was a Monday. And only the best will understand that joke. But it was a Monday, and he's like, I asked him, "Hey, how's your day been?" And he's been like, "Oh, it's been absolutely fantastic." Can we
Sorry,
Yeah,
Colby, gosh.
absolutely
sorry.
fantastic. And he asked, "How's your day?" And I was like, "Oh, it's doing pretty good." And he's like, "No, it isn't." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "You're doing fantastic." And I was like, "Oh, like why?" And he's like, "If you just say you're doing good, you're gonna look at the rest of your day and be like, it was an all right day, like it's whatever. But if you're saying like, oh, I'm having a great day, the little things are gonna be like, oh, that was awesome." And like just by the end of the day, you're actually gonna have enjoyed what you did rather than just, no, it's been all right.
I have something to go on that unless you got
Go for
something. So in my entrepreneurship classes, right, we've got guest speakers that come in, and quite a few of them have like affirmations. They say, have affirmations that you read every morning, or like have a gratitude journal, right? And the affirmations, we talked about that as a class and how to kind of do them the right way. Because like what Colby was saying was like, I want to have $1 million. I want to X, Y, Z. You can say, oh, I want to have a good day. But the way to make it really work is to flip how you say it. And instead of I want to have $1 million is
As if it's already a state of being.
I earn this much money. I am this. So instead of doing it as a future tense, you do it as a present tense and have it. Yeah. I think it's still
Sure. I just like touched it.
No, that's good. It's good still. But it's like you have to change how you're saying it to be a present tense rather than a future tense. Because with it being a future tense, it's always in the future. It's not achievable. Yeah. So you do present tense because then you're already living it. So then you're gonna
I'm
constantly
earning, yeah.
change the way you think to
Like,
think
I
like
am a
someone that
billionaire.
does that.
Yeah.
I am earning this much money.
Like I looked at it and it is crazy. But I was looking at something and it was like how to save up for a down payment of a house.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like if you and your spouse can save $150 each a week, then in a year and like 12 weeks or a year and 15 weeks, something like that, then you will have $20,000 for like a $600,000 down payment
Right.
on a house
Right.
with a like support from the government and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. First time home buyers get a
Yeah.
little cut on
Exactly.
the interest and the down payment rates.
And it's like if you're thinking like, oh well, we need to somehow find down payment, then it's like you're never going to.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like, okay, first thing, second thing, second thing,
Right.
$150 put away, then
Right. It's like
Get
it's
there.
like goals, right? I think it was financial literacy in high school. They taught us about SMART goals, right? But SMART goals only work if you write them down. Or goals only really come true if you write them down. Because if you just
There's
have
like
a
quote,
goal,
it's like a goal that's not written down is just a dream or a wish.
right? Who said that?
Walt Disney.
Really?
No. Unknown by me.
Michael Scott.
Nice. But yeah,
Yeah.
like you write
That
it down.
idea, though.
It takes like it is like the next step. Like you have a dream or whatever. You write it down. It becomes a goal or whatever. It's like a little bit more realistic, I guess, writing it down. So like
Yeah.
same thing with
Like for me,
manifestations, I
manifesting,
guess.
it's like I don't really believe in it. I don't know. I think it can be beneficial, but not in the like in Princess and the Frog. There's like the princess in the pink dress, whatever her name is, you know.
Yeah.
And she's just like wishing on a star. Like
she's not a princess. But
she's for day.
sorry, in the parade, right?
But yeah, she like in my mind that's what like I picture when I think of manifesting. So like you're just like putting it out into the universe and like hoping it comes to you, you know, like just wishing on a star. But if it's like there's good mental health practices you can do, like keeping a gratitude journal, meditating, like different things. If like manifesting helps get you in the right headspace and saying it like the
Affirmations.
affirmations or whatever it is, like every day, every morning, like gets you in the headspace to then go and make it happen. And you're getting yourself in the position like today is a great day. I'm making myself happy, like triggering that endorphin in my brain. Like, yeah, it's a good day. The sun's shining. You like find a reason to be happy. Then you are making yourself happy. You aren't saying, man, I really wish I was happy and expecting the universe to make you happy, you know? So like in the wishing on a star, don't believe in it, but like I do believe that it's beneficial.
Well, I feel like we've all been taught this too. Like, I look back at what our old lacrosse coaches used to make us do is once a week show up to practice with a 3x5 note card with 5 quotes on it, 5 goals for this week or for the season or whatever it was.
Game. I remember it was games too.
For the games.
Yeah.
Like, that's a perfect example of like what you can do to make those things happen. I mean, I look at our growth when we were doing those things in practice versus when we weren't. I felt like it was
Right.
better
a lot
at practice
more,
and better in games and
But then
stuff.
after games, if we didn't hit the goals, we'd talk about what we can do to achieve them next time, or what we weren't doing that we should have been doing.
Right.
Can I talk about like I don't think I looked back at it the other day and your guys' senior year, your sophomore year.
My sophomore year, yeah.
One of my goals was like to get 75 plus ground balls for this season, and I think I got like 84.
Nice.
And I was like, that was actually pretty good. Like looking back at it, when I made the goal, I was like, probably not. And then like I think I even made like a sub goal of like 6 a game kind of thing, like 6 or 7 a game.
I
So that
remember
we
you
could.
stepped up that season too.
Yeah.
It was a good season for you.
I remember when they did the stats for the pre-season tournament that year, I think I had a third or a fourth of the ground balls of the entire tournament. I had like 28 that
Oh,
tournament.
okay, that.
Oh,
Those,
from,
like, 4
from
games.
our
That
team.
quick tournament that we had. Okay,
Yeah, there's like
okay.
4 games. I had like 28 ground balls,
Okay.
Dang.
which was crazy, and I
Nice.
broke my thumb. So
Tough.
that was like the second game.
Yeah.
Did you ever
nice.
get that casted?
Nope.
Yeah, I was like, I
think he
don't
did.
remember ever seeing you
There.
cast.
He did.
There, no, because if I told anyone that I like
He wouldn't be
needed to
able to
go,
play.
You'd be out.
I'd be out.
Yeah.
And so I would. Now I have
I
one
busted mine
hitchhikers
in
and one
practice,
not.
but
I
it was
remember
just
that.
like a little fracture. So
That happened a couple.
Yours
like a month
still
and a half
works.
ago.
yeah,
Mine doesn't.
Yeah.
But it's a thumb, so it's
or other goalie got
all right.
his thumb broken by the coach too.
Nice. Yeah. Well,
That
it was.
and then there was coach that busted up his hand. Tries to hop in a hitting drill, squeezes on a helmet.
That was the worst
Love you
kind of
both.
manifestation because he literally said like the round before he's like, I want you guys to like hit someone, like hurt someone, and then he throws on a helmet and he goes yeah, that doesn't fit.
Did he have gloves?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't,
And
think,
then-
I don't think he'd step in with like. Why
No.
put a helmet on if you don't have gloves on?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
need gloves and a helmet.
Yeah.
And then he like runs in and Crew breaks his hand. That was
Nice.
hurt
Yeah, when
he hurt
like
someone.
when he was like rolling on the ground, I was like, ooh. I was like, this is not good. I was like, he's got a wife and kids. I was like, this is just like, you know, like it's a bummer when a teammate gets injured, but I was like, this is like messing with your life, you know?
At least like, and I don't.
But he's, you know, he was a teacher.
That's
so
what I was
it's
gonna
like-
say. At least he was a teacher. He wasn't like
Yeah.
working where he needed his hand all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
he could do
still
his job
do, but-
without
Like
a
either
hand.
of our dad's professions, game over.
Well, my dad. My
mine,
dad
yeah.
was playing volleyball.
Any of our dads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, your dad's retired. So
Yeah.
but
Well,
I remember one time.
Did your dad do? I feel like
He
he
owned
stays
a
busy.
company.
He did trucking.
Okay.
Yeah. But
That
so
works with one hand.
my dad jacked up.
Not
his-
really, but
My dad jacked up his hand one time. He was playing volleyball, goes up for a block, ball comes down. He looks down. I think it was his left hand. His pinky from the first knuckle to like the second one was straight, and then after that was bent to the side, like 45 degrees. And he's like, oh. So he pulls it, pops it back into place, tapes it to his other finger, keeps playing for 2 hours, and then goes and sees like a doctor. So and they tape it all up, they brace it, tape his whole hand up to his elbow, and he's like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" He couldn't use his entire hand, but luckily we had like a physical therapist, doctor, neighbor, friend guy, and he went to him and he's like, "Can you help me with this?" He goes, "Well, a bunch of Nimrods. When you blocking up his whole hand, it's a pinky." So he tapes it, just covers up like his
With like
two
popsicle
fingers.
stick.
Yeah, like does his 2 fingers and a little bit of his hand to kind of give it some support, and that was it. And then he could use like the rest of his arm again.
interesting.
I was thinking about it because like when I go to donate plasma, my pinky doesn't bleed very good, and then so I always have him poke my ring finger because I'm like, I really only use these 3 fingers.
That's
you know, I
I'm
was
the
like,
same.
Yeah, you could really get away with the dinosaur claws, you know?
I'll
like-
usually do my ring, but sometimes the middle.
Oh, okay.
See, because if you get rid of your ring finger, then you're an assassin. You know, Assassin's Creed.
I thought it was Teenage Mutant Ninja
Nerd.
Turtles or something that you're going for.
No, they're like this, bro.
Oh.
Ninja Turtle handshake. Yeah. Yeah.
You can also do the bro clasp. Give me your thumb through the slit.
Yep. There you go.
I'm not much of a
That was so
handshake guy.
Okay.
it's okay. Matt.
Anyways,
So, anyways, let's manifest that gets better.
we'll get better.
Good loop back into that. The whole like manifesting, like just putting it out there, hopes that it comes around. I think it kind of comes back to like not to get spiritual or religious, but like
I
the
think it
id-
plays a factor.
yeah, but like the idea of like faith without works is dead. Right? So like you can manifest and say, "Oh, I want XYZ," or I'm trying to manifest whatever out into the world, but if you don't act upon that and put in your own work, it's never going to come true.
Who's that quote by the way?
James.
But it's, you know, that idea where
Yeah.
like writing your goals down, you write them down, does nothing. You got to put in the work to actually get anything out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
But I do have some funny, like a funny at least experience about
Manifestation.
manifestation of like the not actually working towards things. My work has a very weird manifestation thing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You never get sent home, but like if you're just like, I want to go home, like 6 hours into your shift, dude, someone's gonna come knocking around, being like, hey, go home, leave, get out of here. You're like
2
like,
hours in.
All right, no, 2 hours in, not
5
really.
minutes after you're there, I want to go home.
Go home.
I wish.
But I want to get paid.
So it was like a 40-minute mark for me. Once I make it like in an hour and a half, then I'm like, okay, I'm at work, I'm working, you know. But it's like, at first you show up, you're like, yeah, I get to work, and then it's like 45 minutes, you're like, I do not want to be doing this.
Yep.
You push through, and then you're all right.
Yeah, fair.
Anyways, manifesting.
But then there's also like weird things, like we'll literally like look at someone and be like, wow, they're gonna have issues. And they just do.
like a
Like the
Not
machine or
patient?
something.
Yeah, like a
do you
donor.
call them patients?
Donor.
Donor. Okay.
Do
Do you maybe want to explain a little bit what
yeah,
you do?
I-
Just
I-
real fast.
I work at a company that collects plasma for
Donations.
for what is that called?
Plasma
Medicine.
Like the
donation.
Red Cross.
It's like the Red Cross but plasma, and you get paid.
There we go. Okay.
Um,
Oh, we got a free shirt from the Red Cross one
I
time.
did.
Remember
I
that?
snatched
Yeah.
two.
So we got out of fourth period.
Wore 'em to practice all the
Only
time.
reason-
you did.
Yeah.
I actually noticed.
Yeah.
Just like junker white T-shirts is always what my
Yeah.
go-to practice outfit was.
Great shirt for
Still
that.
is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, he doesn't,
Still
like,
is.
doesn't like crazy sweat marks either. Like a gray shirt like what you're wearing now.
Yeah.
Like-
Game over.
Pit stains, bro. Ooh,
And like with
white
the
shirt
sun,
though.
that's why I went white, because like I'm not wearing black.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyways, there's perks to that.
Anyways, anyways, at this plasma donation center, we'll just like look at someone and be like, yeah, their set's just not gonna work, and then it just like 2 cycles in gives them so many issues. And literally yesterday, yeah, I worked yesterday. One of my coworkers came in, and everyone likes him. Well, not everyone. Most people like him. Everyone likes him.
What's his name?
We're gonna bleep that out.
We're gonna wait.
Future Tanner, bleep that out.
He'll know, and I think 1 or 2 other people, because I think I told them. But literally, like, he came in and we were super slow yesterday, like unbelievably slow. So there was always someone just like talking to him. And I finally got done with what I was doing, because I was carrying the team on my back, like obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
show.
And I went and walked over to him because like everyone had left, and I told him, I was like, everyone left. It'd be a shame if like your machine just had issues. Like that'd just be terrible.
Oh, so he
And
was
then-
like a coworker, but came in to
Yeah.
donate.
Immediately, like 5 seconds later, redness detected. Like have to
Machine's beeping at him.
machines going off at him. Luckily, like there wasn't like any, like he didn't get a blood loss or anything like that. But I was like, holy crap, 2 strong powers here.
Is it that
Can't do that.
machine first aisle on the left, up against the wall? So like when you first
Yeah,
go into
no,
the
yeah,
donor beds?
red.
Yeah, so you're down
Red
in
on the
red
left.
against the wall on the right side.
No, where
Of
you
red?
were?
Yeah.
No, not that one.
Oh, okay.
It's not that
Because
issue.
twice in a row that machine has flagged me.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Dang.
it's
And
not
so
the
I'm out of there in 30
machines.
minutes, and I'm like, bing, because I still get paid.
It's not the machines, it's the sets. The sets were having a little bit of issues.
Huh.
So, but yeah, there's some crazy, like, obviously we talked about like the reality of manifestation, but there's some weird, like, just say things and it happens at my work.
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in karma?
Yes.
Kinda.
Yeah, just as much
You
as
held
I,
eye contact for way longer than I was expecting. It was yes.
just as much
And like
as
I went to keep
manifestation.
scanning, and you're like,
He's
asked me
telling
a
you
question.
something. He's letting you know something, Darren. There's
coming,
karma.
Darren.
I know.
I'm manifesting it.
I went to
It's
scan,
coming.
and then I was like, what have I done?
I believe in karma just as much as I do with manifestations. Like there are some things where it's like, oh, like what goes around comes around. Like if you're doing good and serving others, you're gonna in return have good things come upon you. You know, same thing with like bad things too.
But it might just
But,
be
like-
because you're putting yourself in good situations.
Yeah, but like karma as in like, ooh,
You were just
Insert
rude to
sound
that
effects.
person.
you know. So like, To a certain point, yes.
I think it's less so karma and more so that like what you do impacts like you were saying, putting yourself in good situations, but also like impacts how others perceive you and how others will interact with you. Because like if you walk up to someone and like are happy and just like ask them questions and like try to have a conversation with them, most of the time people will like
Be open and friendly.
and friendly about it. But if you walk up and sit down next to someone and don't say anything for 30 minutes, they're not going to say anything back.
Right.
Like it's just kind of is how it is. So I think the world is much more responsive than we think it is. So it's less karma, but just science.
Science.
But while we're talking about manifestations, any manifestations for our podcast? Any goals? Any thoughts?
Taylor?
This
Really?
is where, this,
Where
Is
do
this like
you
a-
want it
is this
to
like
be?
a
this
me
is where you
thing?
guys like answer. No, just like do you guys think like, oh, by the new year I hope we have 150 subscribers?
On the YouTube?
Anything.
On
Like-
the
like,
YouTube
do you
by
have
the end of the
any
year, which
goals?
is a few weeks. We
Yeah.
got from the time of recording, we've got 4 or 5 weeks till the new year.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Personally, I'd love if the YouTube hit above 100 subscribers. I think that's more than doable. If we exceed that, phenomenal. I would like to hit 100. I think that'd be
That's a good goal.
so. And then as far as like podcasting, like the audio only, let's see, we'll have a few episodes out by then. I want 200 downloads.
That's not crazy.
So, I mean, we've got 20 in the first couple days off the first one. And if
Maybe
we
you
release
shouldn't be
5
saying
more,
Our current statistics,
why
but
not?
whatever. Yeah, brag a little bit.
little behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We're talking real, bro. We ain't no fake.
I-
This is real stuff, man.
I feel like as long as we have some form of growth. I mean, I don't know how to measure that exactly, if that is 100 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the year or whatever, but I feel like if there's some growth and some potential there, I think,
Well, I mean, growth is 0 to 1.
yeah, 0 to 1. Like, as long as there's some form of growth somewhere.
Quarter by quarter.
Exactly.
Game by game.
Quarter by quarter,
Take day by day.
day by day.
Yeah,
hour
honestly,
by
like
hour.
when we first started talking podcast and everything, I was like, sure, let's send it. Scatter was like, well, we got to get this kind of equipment and everything, and we're like, oh, do we want to actually buy that? Like, are we just
Yeah.
Jimmy rigging this? And I was like, sure, let's send it. And I was like, honestly, at that point, I was like, monetization, like any of that, didn't expect any of it.
Yeah.
But I was like, life's getting crazy. Like, we're all married or almost, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I was like, if this is an excuse to keep coming back and like
Hang
kicking it
out.
with the boys, then I was like, yeah.
Done.
Then dropping like whatever it costs for the equipment, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's just
Saving money.
paying
in the
for a
future.
guy's night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
bowling, dude. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Free
like
money.
2 weeks of bowling right there.
I told someone at work today because they asked like if I had any fun plans after, and I was like, well, me and my friends are doing a podcast, and like at the end of the day, worst case scenario, it's just good time where we get to hang out.
Yeah.
And so like that's like I guess how same thing. You were like, do
I
we
woke
want to
up this-
spend this much money? And I was like, it'll save every time we get together like about $20 because
$20 of bowling and food.
and food.
Dude. Well, it's 20.
So-
Yeah.
So it's like it's just an investment. But
Yeah.
um
I mean, worst case scenario, I mean, if this doesn't take off like we're hoping, but it will.
It will.
I think it will.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Honestly,
I think
I'm
it has
already
good
kind of
potential.
shocked at
I
like
mean-
how well it went. Like
Yeah.
organization, Colby's
Yeah.
working to get like us organized for the future when it does take off, and I was
Yeah.
just like, huh?
yeah. I mean, my family listens to it. They listened to it that first day it dropped. I let my family know, and they listened to it that night. I know, like all of our
my wife and
Significant
her
others
family watched it while
are
she's up there
liking
right now.
it. So
So
as long as
Yeah.
we're making it for them, there's a quote by Robin Williams. He says, "I don't know how much value I have in this world, but as long as I've made like one person
person
happy, then
smile."
I'm like
Yeah.
okay with that." I mean, that's paraphrasing. It's not exact, but like as long as we're making a couple people smile and laugh, I think that's
I think we're making the four of us.
That's more than
and the
payoff.
four of us
Yeah.
count, yeah.
That's more than enough.
So,
Yeah, I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, let's go. It's a
Yeah.
podcast day.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are
My-
we going to be talking about? Hit the group chat.
Yeah.
My wife was a little like, oh, do you have to go? I was like, yes, I'm going.
Yeah, you're like,
So,
I've been waiting for this.
I needed this. It's therapy.
Yeah, I enjoy it just because it gets us together. So
Yeah.
like any kind of growth in production and anything like that that comes by the end of the year, 6 months in, a year
Yeah.
in, I'd be happy
Let's
for.
take it.
Mm.
Like even if it's just like something that we get together, and because like realistically, this is also something that like I will be able to show my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it unless someone goes,
That's weird to think
let's
about.
delete all this stuff.
Yeah.
You got something to say there, Darren?
Pulling Unis honest like Mark.
No, it's weird to think about because I'm not anywhere close to kids.
I'm not either, but like I think my whole life I've always thought about like what can I like pass
Show your
forward
kids.
of like my
Yeah. It's just documentation.
That's its
for
own
them.
like rabbit hole of just
yeah,
like
that's another deep
like
little.
Snapchat filters compared to the old photographs you saw of your grandma. Like,
But then putting the
Supposed to be
Snapchat
welded.
filters
On
on the
your
photos, or doing it with your grandma. Next level. Always makes my mom laugh. My mom dies at Snapchat filters.
love your mom's reaction.
matter what. It can be the smallest thing. Like even if it makes your eyes bigger, gets rid of your nose, or
No,
whatever.
it's the one that makes the
smallest,
smile,
the
like,
smallest
just
thing.
squishes
You
it
showed
wide.
her, she dies. I showed her one where it like made it look like you were crying. I'm like, hey mom, come look at this. She goes, oh. She just started dying. I'm like, mom, it's not that funny.
Love you, Andy.
Love you, Mama Davis.
Cool.
So-
Well, outro.
Matthew, take it away.
well, thanks for listening, and just know that manifestation is not just wishing, and we know that whatever you guys have your goals for, you'll be able to do it. So thanks you guys.
Love
See you
you.
next time on the voice chat.
Dream is a wish your heart makes.
Please keep
Can we please like
Clipping
we,
that.
like, yeah.
Clipping that.